Hello everybody, welcome back to another little video. I just want to do a little bit of a quick intro. So we went to Sorrento for 2 weeks. If you probably heard in my other videos. I've been back in the UK for about a week now, but on my last week in Sorrento I got quite ill and I'm still not 100% better. I'm about 90% better, I'd say. I'm still kind of coughing up and stuff at the minute. So just kind of apologise for the lack of videos. That's just why. I just didn't want to film anything without trying to obviously give my 100%. But yeah, I just thought I'd show you what we've eaten whilst we was in Sorrento. It was pretty much all the same. It was very pasta and pizza. Like, we did go to a couple of different places, so hopefully I will show you. I don't think I've got every meal that we eat in here, but these are the ones that I managed to remember to take photos of. So yeah, I thought I'd show you what we had in our Italy trip. So yeah, this is where we went on our first night in Sorrento. We went to a place called Piccadilly Pub. I'm pretty sure it was for English tourists. It was very like English signs everywhere. And so my partner, he had I think it's like a T-bone steak kind of thing. It was like £22, and I think he had it rare, and he really liked this. I think it was his favorite steak he's ever tasted from what he told me. He had some with the parmesan chips as well, but he didn't realize how big the steak was going to be, so to be fair, he didn't end up eating that. I think, yeah, that was about €22, and then the fries were about €6, and he just had a glass of beer with it. Me and my mom had a lasagna, which I think was €15, and to be fair, we wasn't really impressed with ours. It was kind of like just tomato and pasta and like parmesan cheese. I guess we're in the UK, and we have a lot more meat in our lasagna, which we do prefer. This had barely any meat. There was like 6 pieces of mince, so it wasn't the best lasagna I had. There is another lasagna coming up later in the video, and then my other members of my family and that, I can't remember what they had. I didn't manage to get pictures, unfortunately, but I think that was a little bruschetta starter, and I had, oh, that was a really nice rose wine I had there as well. And I don't have the name of it, unfortunately, because I couldn't really read the wine list, so I just kind of asked for a rosé wine. But yeah, it's a shame I didn't get to know what kind of wine that was. But yeah, that's what we had our first night in Sorrento. So I think it might have been our second night there. I'm not too sure, but we had a little balcony outside of our bungalow each, and I absolutely loved sitting at that bungalow and just chilling. One night we made dinner, so I think this was noce. I think there was like a little bit of salami in there and some tomatoes and that. I believe my mum made this one with some crusty bread. I do have to say I do love the bread in Italy, more than the pasta, to be honest. But yeah, we just had that with some butter spread, and then we had a salad with some brie. I did try and make some pastas up myself, but because we only had like little ingredients at the time, they just didn't turn out well, so I'm not going to show those because they weren't very nice, and we just ended up ordering takeaway. That was the only thing I'd say, obviously, in Italy, is you can only really buy pasta and pizza kind of stuff. There's nothing really else you can buy, so we was very limited on choices. But yeah, that was a very nice refreshing meal that we had for that night. So obviously this isn't a meal. We had some gelato in Italy. I just wanted to show you. They do have absolutely lovely ice cream over there. That is one thing I do miss. I think I had lemon ice cream, which is probably my new favourite ice cream ever. I'm pretty sure I can't get it in the UK. I've not had a look around properly. But yeah, I had that with some pistachio ice cream and some caramel ice cream. And then you get like a little macaroon on top. So I had a pistachio macaroon on top. So that was actually a little bit expensive, but I suppose you expected for Sorrento. So that was €15 for that tub, which I think was 4 different flavours of ice cream. It was actually too much for me to eat. I think we went back the second week in Italy and we just had one to share, which was more than enough for 2 people. So this we had one night. I remember we bought these from a local market that goes there every Tuesday. We bought some pizzas. We didn't have an oven in our cabin, which we did find really hard. So the original idea was to try and warm these up on the stove. I guess none of us thought, and the foil kind of melted into the pizza when we was trying to warm it up on the stove top. So didn't cook it. It was basically cold pizza we ended up having. But yeah, it was still okay. It would have been nice and warm, obviously. But yeah, that's what we had. And we had that with a mixed salad there. And I think we just had some little cheese and bread and butter. Again, quite a similar meal as the other one. Yeah, most of these pictures are going to be quite the same. But yeah, I still quite like that meal though. So I wanted to show you a couple of our lunches. So typically we would go up to this cafe that was at our resort place we were staying. You would have to buy obviously food from the menu, but they had something a little bit different. So I had omelette and chips. I absolutely love these chips. I do miss these chips, unfortunately. I think it's about €10 for that. It was a cheese omelette. And then my partner had a chicken and ham cheese stuffed burger with some chips on there, and again I think his was about €8. But that's typically what we would do in the daytime, was we'd go up to the bar area, have some lunch, and then go for a swim in the swimming pool. But yeah, I would probably actually say the resort food was actually nicer than most of the food we actually had out. So yeah, that was really nice. But that's what we have for our lunches. So this restaurant was called Pizza Di Franco. I think it wasn't too far away from our resort. It was about a 10-minute walk down this really steep hill. And this was probably our favourite meal we had out, I would say. We did want to go back the second week, but for I think one reason or the other, mainly because I was ill, we didn't end up walking back down. But yeah, this was a sausage and pepper pizza. And well, I kind of found out a lot in Italy when we was out. They didn't really have like tomato bases on their pizza. They just had just like a plain crust, and then they just put the cheese or mozzarella cheese, whatever it was, and then you typically had one or two toppings with a little bit of basil on top. So you didn't have the tomato sauce like you had in England. But yeah, this was really, really nice. And then this was our bruschetta starter. They did come with 4 pieces here. We'd already ate 2 before I realised to take the picture. But honestly, this was such a nice bruschetta. And I'm going to Google, try and find out what cheese they put on top, because it was so, so nice. And it had like little basil and olive oil drizzle on top. But yeah, that's what we had on our little date night. So yeah, this is again another dinner we had up in the bar area in our resort. So I had a pizza margherita. I will say I do miss doing this every day. Um, I just loved going to the bar area and then into the pool. So I had that. I think I had a pina colada, which I had quite a few times whilst I was up there. And then my partner had this pasta carbonara, which again I think he had that about 3 or 4 times. He really loved it. So yeah, that's what we had for our lunch. So this is a cafe we went to outside of Pompeii when we had just finished walking around there. So I had a 4-cheese pizza. Again, it was without the tomato sauce. It was kind of tasted like a big cheese toasty, to be honest. More than a pizza, I would say, but it was still quite nice. And then my partner had, I think it was like a cheese and ham sandwich he had with a little bit of a salad and a beer, and we had a couple of little cocktails. I think I went here with my sister and her partner, and yeah, we just had a little bit of a lunch there. So yeah, that was quite nice as well. So yeah, obviously this isn't a meal, it's just a quick little picture. I didn't realise that obviously in Italy, when you ask for a tea, they don't actually serve it with milk. They just serve it with a lemon. So I was quite annoyed at the time, obviously, because I find when I drink tea without milk, it's quite dry, and I was so thirsty. Um, yeah, it's just making me laugh now, but yeah. So this is one of my omelettes I made back at the cabin. I had this for my breakfast. So this was just a cheese omelette, and I bought these little penny sachets whilst I was over there, and I just put a little bit of the seasoning on top just to try and give it a bit more flavour. But yeah, that was actually quite a nice breakfast. It was just omelette, but typically we would go to this cafe on the resort that you could buy breakfast for. I think it was for about €8. So one night we went down to a Thai restaurant. It was quite a bit of a walk actually. Um, I wasn't that impressed with this, but I really wanted something different than pizza and pasta all the time. I was getting a little bit sick of it at this point. And yeah, so me and my partner both had this Thai soup. It was like a chicken soup. I just wasn't that impressed with it just because they only gave us like 2 pieces of chicken and most of it was filled with these oyster type mushrooms, which I didn't probably read the menu properly, but I'm not really a fan of oyster mushrooms, so I just kind of ended up eating the broth. And then it was just served with some, I think it was plain basmati rice and some crackers. We did really like the starter, which I think I've got of a picture. But yeah, I still probably preferred the Thai in the UK. But we did go with my partner and their friend, and I think they had something different. And they said theirs was really, really nice. So it wasn't like all bad. But yeah, probably not my favourite meal we've had. But I thought I'd show you anyway. So this is one meal I did make in the cabin, which was a spaghetti carbonara. It was okay. It was pretty nice. I didn't realise, obviously, in Sorrento in Italy, their spaghetti is quite thicker than ours in the UK. So it was kind of more like an egg noodle type of dish, I would say. But yeah, I just made that as I kind of usually do at home with some egg and some, I think it was some little prosciutto I could find, and I put a lemon herb on it because we brought these lemon herb seasons, and yeah, that's what we had for dinner that night. And yeah, so this one actually makes me laugh. It's quite a good memory. We went up to Mount Vesuvius for the day. It was quite a little bit of an expensive trip. It was €99 per person, which just it wasn't worth it. But I'll try and explain why. But yeah, we stopped off at this vineyard first for dinner, and they gave us this. It was just pasta sauce with tomato sauce on top. But honest to God, we all actually at the same time said it tasted like Heinz spaghetti hoops, and it did. It wasn't worth it at all. But yeah, I really liked the wine though. Everyone else didn't really like their wine that much, so I just kind of ended up drinking everyone else's glasses. So I was a bit drunk. But yeah, that's what we had in our little meal to start with, and it was so loud in there as well, which kind of made it a bit unpleasant. But yeah, this is my partner. He managed to reach the top of Mount Vesuvius. Fortunately, I think me, my mum, and my sister, we didn't manage to make it up. And don't worry, I wasn't drunk anymore. By the time we got to the mountain, I'd sobered up with all the fresh air you got there. But it was incredibly steep, and we just couldn't make it up. And it wasn't worth it because that's him at the top of the volcano, and that's actually, believe it or not, the crater. But we was completely surrounded in clouds that day, so you couldn't see anything. So yeah, and we only had like 40 minutes to like get to the top of the mountain and back down. But because none of us are like fit, it wasn't really enough time. I think we would have been better just to go there on a separate day than rather pay that €99, because then we would have had more time to get up the volcano. We could have took as long as we wanted. But yeah, unfortunately, we didn't think of that. But yeah, he was really pleased with himself at least. So for one night, we had dinner up at the resort place again. We kind of ate there a lot, to be fair, in the end. So I had the lasagna. This was pretty nice lasagna, I'd have to say. I did quite like this one. I still prefer my mum's one. I think everybody still does. But yeah, I had this, and it had like Parmesan cheese on top. And then they had like this garlic bread. It was like just toasted ciabatta bread with like a garlic paste over the top. And then he had his spaghetti carbonara again. But yeah, that's what we had for dinner that night. So I thought I'd show you this because we had this about 2 or 3 times in the second week, because we discovered that we could order from this local pizza place, which was again near the Pizzeria De Franco, just down the hill from us. And these were quite nice actually, so we had these quite a few nights. So that was just I think it was like a pepperoni pizza with again some peppers on there, and yeah, just a cheese base. It was really nice actually. And then you could have these chips, which were again really nice. And then that was a Nutella pizza that my sister ordered, and she just gave us a slice of it. Again, you can get that from over here, I reckon. But yeah, we had that quite a few nights over the last second week. So this was actually when we went to Capri. I honestly wouldn't recommend going to Capri. It's very tourist trap. We were getting really annoyed with these buses, but that's for another video probably. Once I'm feeling better, I might make that video. But yeah, this was quite a nice little cafe we had. I had a chicken schnitzel with some chips and a little bit of salad. Again, it was about 16 euros. It's a little bit more expensive in Capri. And my mum had a chicken salad, and my partner had a spaghetti carbonara. And quite realizing that my partner pretty much had spaghetti carbonara nearly every day. But yeah, we had that with some little bit of drink as well, and my sister and her partner were there as well, but I didn't manage to get a picture of what they was eating, so I'm not sure. But yeah, that's just what we had whilst we was in Capri. We went on a boat trip. The boat part of it was really, really nice, I'd have to say. So I think if I was to go again, I would just do a boat trip rather than go on the actual island. Then just to finish off, we had this in Capri. Me and my partner had one of these lemon sorbets, and it's just like a lemon filling ice cream in a frozen lemon. It was so, so nice. Again, lemon is probably one of my favourites ice cream there. But yeah, I think we was by the time all that obviously carbs and pastas, we were really happy to get back to the UK, and I think I had a Chinese the first night I was back. But yeah, that's just a little bit of a vlog for you, and hopefully I shall be back again soon with another video. But thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.